Hey Megan, this chart is up that I'm going to send to you along with this video. It is going to show you your birth chart, and it also is going to show you some fun facts about your chart. You can look up the meanings of later. Um, I like to just break it down at first, talking about your big three. So with your Sagittarius rising, you have a larger than life presence at times. When people first meet you, they probably look at you as someone who has a lot of wisdom, a lot of life experience, somebody that can give advice about situations because you've experienced things, or you have an air of confidence about you. Even if you're an introverted person, it's a kind of energy that people trust, that what you're saying comes from a place of deep truth within you. And you tend to attract people who need some kind of mentorship or need to hear some kind of guidance from you. I wouldn't be surprised if you were an older sibling or have people in your life who you've kind of guided. Sagittarius rising can be very generous. If you have information or resources, you will give to people and expect nothing in return except just the fact that you helped somebody. They could be very doing good for the sake of good kind of energy, and really trying to lift all of everybody's knowledge up and get us all thinking about like the bigger picture questions. So you might strike up some random philosophical discussion in your friends group or people that you meet. You might just like randomly meet people from different cultures or very different walks of life from you and share ideas and learn about how you're more alike than different. It's just a bigger experience with a Sagittarius rising and a lot of wanting to pay things forward. So moving on to your sun sign in Pisces, um, in the sign of Pisces, there's a level here of emotional connection to people. The third house is all about how we communicate and how we relate to people on a daily basis. Like if you were to walk into the cafe where you get your coffee every morning, those same people that you see every day, interacting with them, or people at the grocery store, everyday commutes to work. It's all about what we do at our level of awareness that we can see, hear, speak. It's often associated with the school age and time of life that we're in school because that's where we're learning uh, to use our mind to grow in awareness of how the world works. So with your sun here, it makes me think that you were probably a pretty good student. In Pisces is interesting because it's not the straightforward energy that the third house could use, but the sun is the identity where you shine the brightest. So even if you're at the most academically gifted, there is a sense that you belong there. And in the energy, that mutable Pisces energy, people just kind of see you flowing through life and getting all kinds of experiences. But it just shows that you can kind of flow with all different types of people. So even now, or in your age, you're past the school age, but you probably still feel that way in your community or people at work that you see. People probably expect that like they could tell you anything and you wouldn't be super shocked. You're just kind of um, somebody that people can go and tell things to and be like somebody they can confide in. When people really get to know you, they see that you're not judging people. Like you actually mean when you say like, I hope you feel better, or what happened, tell me. Don't tell me because of gossip. The Pisces sun and third house, tell me because I actually really care about people in my life. Even if we're just peers, I care about people on every level, all levels. I care about the sick and suffering in our community. I care about the animals in the homeless shelter. You know, you just have a very like bleeding heart for the every person. And I think people see that about you. I always guard Pisces suns to be careful with their energy, though. That caring energy, people can become addicted to that and take a lot of your personal serenity and warmth. And it is finite. You know, you're not someone that can just go on and on and on. You do need to recharge. So sometimes it's learning to set boundaries with people and not being like the everyday hero that's always there for everyone. At some point, people need to be there for you too. So a lot of the Pisces is to learn to set boundaries, practice saying no. A Sagittarius rising is also kind of has that hero complex sometimes with the best intentions, but they can get dragged down into everyone always having a crisis because they know that you can help. They like your energy, they like that you're willing. So you just have to set up some boundaries with that kind of healing potential so that you don't get dragged down and wore out and burn out. So Aries moon in the fourth house, that is a sign of power for you in the home. You get emotional security from recharging in your home away from the public life. You know, the moon is ever changing and Aries is very like, let's do this right now. So you might find that you just have these bursts of insight and power and energy, and then they're fleeting again. So you really are the type of person that needs to take advantage of when you feel a lot of energy. It's like, is there a project you want to tackle today and you woke up ready for it? Do it, because tomorrow you might feel like, oh man, I don't have any energy. I used it all yesterday. I was a fireball of passion to clean out the garage. And today I just can't get out of bed. It's very fluctuating. But when it's on, it's very powerful. And you need to be physically active. You deal with emotional changes physically. And if you can go for a long run when you're feeling stressed out, you're going to feel so much better. If you can punch a punching bag through kickboxing when you're angry, if you can go on a walk and cry with your best friend when you're sad, anything where you can physically reflect your emotional nature, it helps you get balanced again so much faster. And the personal energy here, you know, the moon is how we really deeply relate to ourselves and the people closest to us. And for you, you're very passionate about your family, people who you consider family. You would do anything for them, and you're very proud of them. There's an independent side to you, though, too. You can't base your identity on it. You're still an independent soul, and you have your own way about you. And you don't do well with very codependent people in the family. They know that you love them and you know they love you, but everybody needs their own thing going on or it stresses you out. You need to be able to do your own thing and have that be respected and time cut out for yourself in the home life for you to feel really emotionally stable in yourself. So let's move on. That was the big three. Let's look at Venus now for how you are in love, what you're attracted to, how you act. Venus is the sign of what we love, how we express our beauty. Venus is also discernment, what we don't like. You know, we develop taste because at some point we're exposed to things we love and then things that we don't love. So it is in Aquarius. So in Aquarius, Venus is somebody who has an open heart for people in general. You love people and you care deeply about humanity in all forms. You know, you like to consider yourself one of the people, not higher than anybody, not on some throne looking down on people. You really feel like yourself and love more generously when you feel like you're one and the same of other people. And in the second house, you really do well where you can connect with people on really basic instinctual levels. So with this type of energy, I could see you being somebody who really likes to get involved in like natural settings with like a bunch of people. I could see you being in some kind of like outdoor yoga session where there's a bunch of people doing the same thing, and you can feel that natural beauty of the uh, what the setting. If it's in the woods or on the beach, I could see you being somebody when you're romantically involved with somebody, finding that person through a group of friends. Aquarius Venus sometimes likes to be friends with people before they really fall in love. They want to know who is an intellectual love. They want to feel someone out first, and they want to know what they're about. Is this person authentic? Authenticity is so important for you to fall in love with. You need to know that somebody's who they say they are. They can be vastly different and eccentric, and sometimes that's even more exciting for you. But they just need to be honest about who they are, and you need to be able to respect that in them. You just don't want somebody that's fake. And Aquarius Venus, people joke that they don't commit in all this because Aquarius can come off aloof. That's actually not true. Aquarius has two rulers, Uranus and Saturn is all about long-term commitments. So once you find somebody that you really think is intellectually stimulating, who they say they are, and someone that you feel like you can connect with on a friendship level, there is potential for long-term love there and commitment, especially in the second house, because the second house really does like that structure and stability. It likes to know that they can depend on something. So you're looking for somebody that you can even stand the test of time with and feel grounded in them. So I think in your case, you are looking for a long-term love, but it can't be dull and monotonous. It has to still be exciting for you, good or bad. Okay, so Mars is the planet of our drive, ambitions. How do we get what we want? What do we even want? What are we going to do about it? Are we willing to fight for it? Do we want to take up space, or do we want to stand back? Your Mars is in Scorpio, and that is the co-ruler for Mars. Old traditional astrology, Scorpio was ruled by Mars. Now it's Pluto. I think they both matter. It shows that determination and drive that you have. In the 11th house, you might be very focused on your long-term goals. Once you really plan that you're going to do something, you have all forces go, and you are going to get there. So great determination and great ability to not get set back by any kind of short-term failures. You have a deep truth inside of you that you know what you're capable of, and you're able to get there. In the 11th house, you might have really big, this high ideals of what you want in your future and who you want around you. And it might be a wonderful drive. I think Mars does well in the 11th house because are you going to have enough energy to climb that mountain to get to the other side of the rewards of all the hard work? I think with Mars there in Scorpio, you definitely do, and you're not afraid of it. And it's very transforming. Once you reach your goals, you are transformed by them, and the reward is even better than the original thought. Okay, so lastly, let's look at Mercury. That's the planet of communication, how we think, what we like to think and talk about. Yours is in, where are we? Pisces in the 3rd house, right next to the sun. So it's natural for the sun and Mercury to get in these conjunctions because if you think of real life, Mercury stays pretty close to the sun. So that's normal. But it's nice because it's pleasing to you when you can think and speak in the same alignment as your overall identity. So for you, that's in Pisces. So that's just going to add to the ability for people to trust in you and feel like they aren't going to be harshly criticized by you. It gives you greater imagination and creativity. And it gives you this greater ability to reach who you want to, especially in the third house. I just think of the Pisces water that just keeps flowing and there's no end to it. That's kind of like the uh, capability of the power of your speech. If you want to, you can actually reach a lot of people on a level where you're equals, and it's not like you're talking down to anybody, but you have a lot of love and healing ability to spread to them. And when I think of this, I think of like siblings or friends, maybe friends that feel like siblings, people that you don't want them to look up to you necessarily. You're not an authority to them, but like you have powerful things to say to them on how they can improve themselves and really feel connected in love and spirituality. You might be the message that somebody needs to hear to open the door for their spiritual growth. So that's pretty powerful. And I think it says a lot about how, I think it speaks to your ascendant too. Your ascendant and sun both give this energy of helping people, guiding people to discover their own truth and their own spiritual awakening capabilities. But in like a non forceful way. Pisces has this gentle way and even this creative way. If you are someone that likes poetry, it's like this creative energy. So where I would see writing with Mercury in the third house, with Pisces, I see it being in more of a creative outlet, writing music, playing an instrument, speaking a language of love that maybe isn't even using words. Like that kind of ability to communicate with people is how you really get your authenticity out there and people receive your message clearer. So I hope that was informative for you. And I think that is all of the six. I like to point out Jupiter sometimes too, but I know we're over time. Just Jupiter in the first house just brings that benevolence to life even more with your Jupiter in the first house and your Sagittarius rising. You know, the more you give, the more you get. Your personality, don't hold back. Let people have it all because you have a lot to give and you excite and inspire people. So you have more luck in your life when you're really living your full authentic version of yourself. So keep it up. And I hope that was great. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer anything. Okay, talk soon.